Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. Last night, I just got done watching one of the most beautiful shows I have ever seen, and that is Season 3 of Shrinking. This show stars Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, and essentially right before Season 1 of this show starts, Jason Segel plays a therapist who loses his wife in a tragic accident where she gets into a car accident and dies. And that's essentially right where Season 1 picks up, like a few months or maybe like a year after the events of that. The problem is, Jason Segel is a therapist in this show, so not only does he have to go to work and help other people deal with their trauma and their emotions, but he's also battling his own because he lost this person that he just loves so much, and they share a daughter together that's in high school, and she's also grappling with the fact that she lost her mother, and he's not handling it well. He's drinking, he's doing drugs, he's
sleeping with random hookers and stuff like that.
And it takes an effect on his daughter, and Harrison Ford essentially plays like a father figure to him and a mentor and someone that also works in this therapist office that kind of trained Jason Segel over the course of his career, and Jason Segel looks up to him. And it's kind of about their relationship and their dynamic while also trying to help Jason Segel handle his trauma. And this show is one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen in the least melodrama kind of way. I watched a show called This Is Us on TV during the entirety of its airtime, and I really enjoyed it, but I must admit it does feel kind of soap opera-y sometimes, and just the melodrama kind of beats you over the head with it, with how intense it is sometimes. This show feels a lot more real and grounded and a lot less soap opera-y and a lot more intense with its subject matter and the ways that they deal with grief. And I couldn't help but just get so emotional over the final episode of Season 3 that aired on Wednesday that it literally moved me to tears. I was literally an emotional wreck. And look, I don't normally talk about TV shows because I'm the movie optimist. I love the movies. I love going to the movies, and I love talking about movies. But this show moved me so much that I felt implored.
Nay?
I felt it was my civil duty to come on my YouTube channel, and if I could convince just one person to watch this show, I will have done my job and have been able to sleep good tonight. It is so incredible, the writing in the show, and how much of a payoff you get as a viewer. They reward you in this show with such immense satisfaction and heart. I don't think I've ever seen a show that moved me as much as this show does, and it doesn't rely on people cheating on each other and being cruel to each other. Everyone in this show is just a good person, and even the people that aren't good people are good people. I akin it a lot to Ted Lasso, which might be from the same creators, where Ted Lasso is a show I couldn't really get into. I like it, and I've seen the first and second season, but I just don't care about soccer. And look, the show isn't really about soccer, but I just found myself having a hard time grappling with it. But in terms of the same type of vibe you get from it, that's Shrinking. In a lot of ways, Ted Lasso is also just about a lot of good people doing good things. There's not like a villain, there's not an enemy, there's not big action set pieces, but it's just watching, like I said, good people doing good things. And this show just feels so warm and inviting, and it's like you're sitting around a dinner table with your family during a holiday next to a fireplace, and it's just a cozy show that touches on some really emotional and dark things. Season 2 dealt a lot with somebody being suicidal, and they try to commit suicide, and they're stopped by the power of like just friendship. And that's so beautiful, because people in their darkest moments that feel so alone to the point where they need to even consider suicide being an option, most of the time they just want to feel loved, and they just want to feel like there's somebody there for them. And the fact that this show tackles it so well is insane. I don't want to spoil what happens, obviously, because I want you guys to go out and watch it, but it impresses me episode after episode just how well thought out, well written, and well acted this show actually is, and how much I love it, given the fact that I love action stuff. Indiana Jones is my favorite, Batman's my favorite, so I don't normally gravitate towards shows like this, but I couldn't help but turn this show on every Wednesday, and no matter what was going on in my life, just having a smile on my face watching these people just embrace each other and love each other. And this is the best I have seen Harrison Ford in like 20 years. I'm not kidding. It is the greatest thing I have seen him in outside of Indiana Jones, and he himself in interviews has said this is the best experience he's ever had making some form of content for people to watch. Now, this show was supposed to be 3 seasons and finished. It was going to wrap up with this last season. That was going to be it. We were never going to see it again, but it was so popular on Apple that they asked the writer to come back and do more. And at first I was a little skeptical about that, especially after seeing this final episode and how beautiful of a bow they put on it was. But then I read an interview where he was talking about the arc of this first 3 seasons was really a story about grief and overcoming grief. And the next 3 seasons, if they get that much, is going to be tackling a different emotion, not grief, but something else. And it's also going to do a time jump and show show us a couple years in the future where they're all at after the events of the last season, and I gotta tell you, it's my most anticipated TV show of the next couple years. And this is in a world where we're getting Punisher. This is in a world where we're getting Lord of the Rings and more Game of Thrones and more DC shows. Out of all of those, this is still my most anticipated. I cannot wait to have these people back. I cannot wait to go back to that warm, fuzzy, cozy feeling that I get watching them. It's just such a masterclass. And Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, he is one of my top 3 all-time favorite actors of all time, and to see him in this firing on all cylinders, being just as good and as charismatic as he was in Indiana Jones is something truly special to me, reaching back to my inner childhood. And I never thought I'd say this, but Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, delivers a line in this movie that makes me weep in the final episode of season 3. And I just never thought Harrison Ford was the kind of actor that would do that, because he always takes like the macho roles. And look, he's done other things outside of macho roles before, but really I've only ever seen him in his action movies. This show with him it's truly a once in a generation type of show, and I cannot stress enough how much you should go and watch this if you aren't already. I give this show a perfect 10 out of 10. This is a masterclass in filmmaking for television, and it's a masterclass in acting. It's a masterclass in how to reward people watching your show. If you're gonna write something, make it rewarding for them, because they do that with every single episode here. But anyway, guys, if you've seen the show already, I would love to talk about it in the comments down below, and if you haven't, I would love to know if I've swayed your opinion on whether you're gonna watch it or not. I would love to talk about it. As always, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time.